What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Jacob's Clash episode. Today, I promise, this is our final tier list, but these are the last couple things we haven't gone over. We're going over my favorite spells, the pets, and then also the siege machines. So, join with me in the comments section telling me what I messed up here. But let's stop wasting time, and let's start out with the Zap spell. So this is the Zap spell on the home village. And it has some use cases, right, for a lot of air armies, and also it does a great job about like resetting infernos. So I don't think, especially because primarily Town Hall 7 and below, it is the first spell you unlock. It can't really go lower than C. We're gonna put it at B, and then we might move it around a little bit later. All right, heal spell. Heal spell for me has to be S tier, right? It is one of the spells that is in almost every single army. Do I want an S tier? I'm going to move it down to A tier for now, because the next one right here is S tier, right? The Rage spell is in every single army. I was thinking once you get a little bit higher up, at Town Hall 15, the heal spell kind of loses some use case, just because it really can't out-heal all of the DPS that is going on. All right, jump spell. Again, this whole tier list is very subjective of what army you are using, correct? So if we are using a ground army of golems and we really need some jumps, this would be really high up there. But for me, this is a D tier spell, just because I primarily would just bring wall breakers, right? Freeze spell, freeze has to be S as well. I think its use case is just use it pretty much. It's the best single space spell, I believe, in the game. Or at least in my opinion it is. Alright, Clone. Does this spell still take 3 housing space, which would be the most housing space for any spell? It is, again, a very niche spell. It has a lot of use cases. Some of the most overpowered strategies use clones like the sneaky not the sneaky archers, but the super archers or the super wizards and blimps to form blizzards. But for that reason, other than that, I'm going to have to just say it's C tier, because it's kind of, it's only used in those very specific armies. Okay, invisibility spell. One of the newer spells that they've come out with. I really enjoy it. I think it is my second most used training house spell. It has a lot of use cases of basically saving your heroes at the end of a battle. I'm going to say A tier, not as good as a heal spell though. Alright, this is the recall spell. I think I can just immediately put that in F tier. I'm not sure I've tried the recall spell after like the first week. It's super niche. We were talking about niche for clone spell. Yeah. Recall spell all the way there at the bottom. Earthquake spell. Earthquake spell is pretty good. I'm going to put it at the same range as... you have to use 4 of them, right? Which is basically 4 housing space. So I feel like it's almost at the same level as the clone, right? Because when I'm saying you use 4 of them to open up a clump of walls. So it kind of does all the same thing as this jump and earthquake. The earthquake just has slightly more use than the jump, because while it can do the last little bit of damage to like an inferno or whatever, right? Poison spell. Poison spell is, I know how I was saying, my favorite one spell, housing space. Pretty much once you get higher up, you have to use poison spell. Almost every single army. I'm going to put it behind a freeze, just because, hey, the only use case for the poison is thrown on Clan Castle, and a lot of times I find myself basically not wasting the poison spell, but not using it because the enemy does not have Clan Castle. Skeleton spell. This is my list, and some of you may disagree with me. I know professionals use it a lot. I can't use it at all, man. It's going to go down F tier for me in Skeleton, or along with the recall spell. Just because, again, while it has very niche uses to distract, like scatter shots, I've just never been a big fan. The bats, on the other hand, are a very cool spell. Can I rank it any higher than D tier, though? I don't think so. Bat bombs on a defense or a clan castle are pretty fun, but again, it's just a spell you're not going to use like you would for up here in the A tier at range. Haste spell, a quintessential spell for Lava Loon attacks. It's going to go up in the B tier right behind lightning spell. I really like this balance we got going on here. Now we are on the clan capital spells. So these, this heal spell, very early on, is it the first spell you unlock? It's either that or the zap. I kind of forgot. For some reason, I think it's this heal spell. And it's okay. It loses its use case pretty quickly. I'm going to say in relation to other spells, it's probably going to be right in the middle, right at C tier, right? The zap spell, it has some uses. Again, it is the best single space spell. It's better than the jump spell in my opinion, but it's going to have to go in D tier. And I'm going to put all these in the back just because, well, it's raid weekend, right? Jump spell, again, I'm going to say F. And now these three are your best spells. I think the rage spell is top tier again. And then the top two strategies at the moment use the skeleton spells with the hog riders, and then the miners use these frost spells. So I'm just going to slot these in right behind, right? So I think these are your three best spells. Then there's a little bit of a gap. Then the heal and the zap and jump go a little bit further down. All right, I'm liking this so far. Now we are going to start ranking these pets. All right, so first pet is this Electro Owl. He unlocks at Town Hall 14. He's fine, right? He has like that E-Drag chain. Most people use it on the Warden. He's not the greatest in the world. We'll probably have one at about every single tier. Again, he's just middle of the road, right? We're going to put him at C tier right here. Lassie. Lassie is just a damage dealer. I primarily had him on the Royal Champion prior to unlocking Diggy. Just does some damage, right? Probably worse than Electro Owl just because dies pretty early on in the raid. I'm going to say D tier. Yak. The Yak was the last new, or I mean old pet that I use. B tier for me. He can break open walls. Really good with the King prior to the Phoenix. I'm actually going to move all of these down because the new pets are just, frankly, they're better, right? Next is, I forgot this guy's name. Is it Frosty, right? Frosty, kind of on the same tier as the Yak. I would actually probably rather the use case of the Yak than Frosty. Frosty, basically, he spits out like an ice cube that basically freezes the defenses. Doesn't completely stun them, but freezes them. Diggy on their case, right up in S tier. So many raids have been saved by Diggy. If you don't know, use him on your Royal Champion or primarily, and he will stun the defenses for a long time. I feel like it's like 3 defenses. So, and while going to the Royal Champion, with the Royal Champion, he'll just go from defense to defense and just keep stunning things. Poison Lizard, right up there as well, right? I'm not going to say S tier because there are better heroes, but you can't really go wrong with a pet that can easily kill heroes, right? So I'm going to go A tier. Okay, the Unicorn. Unicorn's S tier as well, right? But is he above Diggy or not? I'm going to say Diggy is still king, right? Out of all the pets, in my personal opinion, I think Diggy is the best. Unicorn, obviously, you slap on your queen. Well, just is basically another healer, right? Easily really good. That's all I'm really going to say about the Unicorn. And then finally, the Phoenix adds upwards to 5 and then to 7 seconds, I believe, on his final upgrade of basically immunity after death. Very, very good, right? But where do we want to slot it in? It's probably, again, going to be up here in S tier. It has to be, right? I'm going to say he's after... no, before the unicorn, right? So these are the 4 pets I primarily use up here, which makes sense. I have them the S and A tier, and then the yak was the last one I got rid of. Lasso is the first one I got rid of. So again, I am pretty content with this so far. All right, now the final thing we're gonna rank. This is a huge tier list, right? We could go do all the troops as well. We've already done that, so we're not going to do that in this episode. You can go back and watch one of my previous episodes where I rank all the troops. But finally, let's go to the siege machines. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 siege machines to rank right here. First one is the classic just wall wrecker. Just lost a lot of use case, right? I haven't used the wall wrecker in a long time. There's just better ground sieges, right, at this point. So it's going to go in F tier for me. The Stone Slammer. I really do like the Stone Slammer, especially while using E-Drags. It is not the best. Again, all of these are subjective, right? It's dependent on what army you're using. I think the only one that people can primarily say, yeah, I just don't use is probably not the Slammer, but this guy that I just threw down F tier. I'm going to say C tier. The Blimp, I think, has so many use cases to get to the Town Hall. I think I'd be doing a disservice if we put it any lower than A. I'm thinking using like Yeti Blimps to get the Town Hall, or any of those sort of blizzards, or yeah, it's just really good. Log Launcher, one of my favorite siege machines. And these last couple, I feel like all kind of go on the same tier. I feel like the Siege Barracks is really good with Queen Walks. This is really good with some Sui type attacks. And then this Flinger is, it's very niche, right? But if you can get Flinger value, it might be the most overpowered siege there is. So, I feel like we're going to put it on the same range as the Stone Slammer, probably higher than the Stone Slammer. And I think this is what my ranking looks like. I think the Blimp is going to be highest. I don't think I have any S tier sieges. I think they're pretty much all just right around the same tier, A through C, and obviously this bad boy kind of falls down to F tier. So overall, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this tier list video. As you can see, I'll make myself a little bit smaller. There's the spells, there's the sieges, there's the pets. What are you guys' thoughts? Tell me in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, another Clash of Clans video coming out tomorrow. See you guys next time. I've been Jacob as always. Goodbye.